They just love to run. They're physical, and they got talented running backs. They're very good up front. They put themselves in formations where it's tough to do blitzing and get them tackles for losses. Some of their runs are designed that regardless of the kind of blitz that you're running, they're still going to run that play, where some teams would be checking out. They're not into necessarily just checking out. They're gonna get you by formation and with talented people, and they're gonna make it work. That's their scheme.
Do you ever consider changing tempo a little bit to try and give the defense a little bit more breather on the bench?
We change and adjust in a game if we're forced into it. We're not going to change going in. We are what we are, and we've been able to get some things done. And I agree with you on how that works. You can put your defense back on the field, but if your defense is playing great defense, they're allowed to keep them at 3 and outs and give your offense another chance. And so that's controlled by your defense. Now, if your defense isn't slowing them down, obviously that's a factor, and you have to look at that. So we'll just see how the game unfolds, and just take it from there. But going into the game, we're gonna be what we are. You just got to understand that you're playing a team that doesn't allow people to put points on the board, and so you got to find ways to do it. But you got to understand that every game has its flow, and just try to pick up on the flow of the game and what it's going to take to win it, and then build your continuous game plan during the game off of that. When you're in the race, going down the stretch, that's motivation for your team. So they're motivated, we're motivated. There's a few other schools in the conference right now that are motivated, and obviously you try to build off of that, but you've got to be careful on how you approach every single game, and I think the way we've done it over the years is the best way to do it, in terms of trying to make the most out of what you're all about in a given year as a football team, and that's not to get too excited about one game and then get unexcited about another. You better have a medium approach to it, to where you're ready to give your best effort every time you step on the football field, and that's not from getting pep talks, or that's not from having something show that all of a sudden makes this into a football game that's more than it is. It's still another game that is won or lost, just like the other games, all the games so far have been. We're where we're at, 5-3. They're where they're at, 5-3. Would we have liked to have been 7-1, and could we have been 7-1? No question, we're not. They're feeling the same way about it. But you only get so many opportunities at those games. You cannot get them back, and so you just try to make the most of every opportunity that your team is confronted with. And I think our players understand that. They know our philosophy as a staff and as a program as to how we look at football games, and we look at every single one of them with the same kind of importance, because it's not going to do us any good if we win this game, then we lose 2 of the next 3 or what have you, and so we just got to take them one at a time. If we win it, then we go on to the next one. If we lose it, we go on to the next one, and just try to have the kind of year you want to have when you step back and look at it, understanding that there's a lot of factors that enter into what your team has been all about and what the season's been all about. It's a long answer, it wasn't needed, but you got it. We've been in these games before as a program. We plan on being in many more of them as the years go on, and so you handle it because you're in a program that's going to put you in position to play in these kind of games. And that's what you want to be all about, and so we just move forward with it, prepare well for it, play the best we can, and have it hopefully be an opportunity that we seize. That's what we're going to attempt to get done. And games like this, ESPN, whether it's ESPN 360, ESPN 2, ESPN 3, ESPN period. It really doesn't matter. And I think our players like to be viewed as any player would be, but to me, it's a football game.